Go to TAPgiles.com to learn dreams, engage my services, and support the channel. I'll just quickly show you a thing I made the other day, which does this. Yay! And that's it. But it's just like a cool effect that popped into my head. So I'll show you how I made it. So you got like a big flat sculpt. I'll just turn it around like that. And then I'm going to scroll on it to make like the scratchy, like drawn pencil-y thing with paint, but in the shape of some text. So put it over here. Right. And I'll make this black. Make this black. That. Okay. And then like spray paint on it, not spray paint, normal paint. And I'll push the touchpad to bring up the color picker, and then use that color, which is just black. And now I can draw in black. Actually, I won't do that. I'll just do that so you can see it. Cool. So now I go to guides and turn on surface snap here. And now, like, it's always snapping to the surface, so you can see here. So, oh, but wait, first I need to actually have this text, put it in the scene, and have some text to it. Like that, and like that. Cool, and then just make it large. Turn off the background and stuff, and make the text white so I can see it. So this is pretty much against the surface of the sculpt there, and I'll just make it lower opacity, make it even bigger. Okay, and now I'll do the paint over here. I'll do it in white, and I'll turn on in guides, go to studio lighting, and now there's no like shadows and stuff, and it's a bit easier to see. So and then just like scribble, and it's better to like leave some gaps and stuff because it just will look like the effect will be a bit better. And the order you do these strokes in, it's fine that they're separate strokes, we'll like sort that out later, but the order you do these strokes in will be the order it draws out in. Like that. So it'll draw like there and then there and then there. Maybe I'll do this one going up and then round, just to demonstrate that you can do that kind of thing. Okay. This one I'll just do straight down, just to demo how you can do it. This one I'll just do as like one line. That. So that won't look very scratchy, but just yeah, I can show you how you can just draw out normal lines and it works just as well. Go around like this. Okay, what a scribbly mess. But now we can tint it to be black. so you can't see it. I'll make it slightly less black so you can't see it. And then we group. So we're going to make this into a sticker. So in this tab, you have the in scene to make it like 3D in the scene instead of on the screen. And then you turn on sticker mode, and it will kind of project onto things in the scene. So even without this paint, it's projecting onto the sculpt like that. But if we group it up with the paint, select the paint and then select that, and then group, now it will only affect the paint, so we can like move it away, and now it's projecting onto the paint. And we can make this the painting actually black, so it's invisible, and it will only show up where the text is projecting onto it. So then we can go and make this fully opaque again. Yay! And now it looks kind of like it's been scribbled in. And you can go and adjust these endpoints. So that's how we're going to animate it. So we change the endpoint to 0, and we can animate it coming out like that. And each of those strokes, like the start point would be there, and then it's scribbled out, and then the end point is where we stopped. And then the start point was there, I think, and then stopped, and then start, and then end, start and end. So you can see all those individual lines kind of shrinking down like that, see? And you got start point as well if you wanted to animate it that way. Like that. So like to demonstrate separately, start is there and then it ends there. Start is there and then it ends there. So we can adjust the start point going all the way to the end point, or the end point going all the way to the start point. So you can draw a whole thing, like a whole anime character or something, and it will draw this out in the order. It will draw every single stroke you have. So that's one stroke, that's another stroke. Well, if I wanted to draw this one out and then that one out in the order that I made them, you can go into animation and turn on animate in sequence. Now it kind of pretends like they're all part of one stroke. So as if I did that and then jumped over here and did that. That's what this does. So now the end point, so like the start point is there, and then the end point is there. So from the end point, go all the way to the start point, or the other way around. So we can do that over here with our end point or our start point, and we can animate in sequence, and now we can have it drawing out as if I drew it out like that, almost as if it's kind of replaying the thing. And then if you look at this one, this is just a single stroke. Oh, it's like too large for that to make much difference. But as you saw with those other ones before, that's how it works. And it all just scribbles out, which is kind of cool. And then, yeah, and you can do density, I guess. Maybe these things like, oh, that doesn't really work for that one, but maybe you can make them kind of glow. If we turn off studio lighting, we can see the glow. Oh, because it's black. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that makes sense. Maybe we can make that glow though. And then do it on there. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then we could do something like boil, and they look like twinkly stars. as they fill out. That's kind of cool. Let's turn the glow off there again. And the effects. Cool. And then you can do stuff like hand-drawn animation, which is cool as well. And it just kind of moves all of the points around a bit over time. And this, so this one, maybe move this forward a little bit so it doesn't disappear entirely. There you go. So that's just like adjusting all the points of it and just kind of making it move a little bit as if it was drawn over and over in the same spot, but it's slightly different every time. So it's a nice easy way to add that kind of cool, cute effect. Yeah, and then to give it even more texture, you could, so these strokes are right on the surface of the sculpt, so we could give this some more impasto, and the strokes on the sculpt, if I get close over here, they like get fatter like that. So if we make it actually looser as well, then each fleck is larger, and then when I impasto it, they kind of poke through some more. So now it kind of adds that extra bit of effect. And if I use style mode comb, I can comb them kind of along the same grain as the scratchy pencil mark. And now it looks like that. Let's go and, so it's showing you like outlines of stuff. So if you go show hide, you can turn off the hover effect. Yeah, it's not bad. Oh. Trying to get into the group. Let's put a thing over there, and now I can scope into the group over here. Okay. Yeah, and make this a bit less. Pesto. Cool, and then you can just animate these things. So, so if I just get a timeline, I can keyframe that to being none, and then keyframe it out to being full. And then I could make it go back again. So I'll make it, leave it full for like a second over here, so that lasts a second, and then back to 0 again. So it'll draw out, and then it'll draw back again, as if I was erasing it. But on this half, I'm going to change a setting. So scope in. I'm going to change it back to not animating sequence, and now each stroke will get erased instead. So put that out like that. Oh, we'll have to have that. Keep going like that. Okay. And that's how they all disappear in a different way. Yeah, so that's about it. How do you control start and end for a sculpt that's converted to paint? You just do the same thing works, but it will be unreliable how it's laid out. So convert to painting, and the same setting applies, but you can see like how it's actually made. So they're actually made in like these clusters which kind of draw around like this, and like blocks, snaking around until it like fills the area. So it doesn't have like if you want to have have it work where it's like up and down or something like that, or spiral or whatever, you'd have to just draw it yourself basically. But yeah, this can still work if you want like a quick appear and disappear kind of thing. If you want it to follow a particular pattern or something, you'd have to not convert to paint. You'd just make a painting and use surface snap or whatever. This is what Martin uses for his drawing things. He asked how to do this a while back, and I told him about this technique that I just showed, and it's the first time he used it. So
draw a circle. Now draw the chin and add guides for eyes, nose and mouth. Add the eyes, nose and mouth, and don't forget the tiny reflections in the eyes. Draw the hair, and let's add in some color. And that is all.
yeah, so that's how that works. So with this painting, for example, he just used paint and drew it as he would normally, and then he used like keyframes and animation to adjust the stroke end and stroke start. And I think he's got some other ones where it's like where it like draws out a whole world or something. Like this, you can see every stroke coming out. So it's cool that Dreams makes that easy. Yeah, so if you wanted this to be all spirally, it would be a case of like actually drawing it out. Something like that. And then these are all separate strokes, so it makes a cool pattern if you want it. But if we turn on Animating Sequence, you can have it actually be a spiral that appears. And if you did that in, if you use the opaque square instead, then it would be like a Pokemon. Oh, let's use the rule flex, which just starts in one point and then you let go in another point. And that would be like a Pokemon transition or something. Battle transition. Oh. Like that. And if I just demonstrate, if it was like a bit off or something, you can always loosen it and make all the flecks a bit fatter so that it covers it. Like that, there. And then you can do the same thing. Like that. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something interesting. Go to patreon.com/TAPgiles to learn something new every day.